Insanity looking like freedom. Really something else to hold us up. Dreams not funded by fun. It's lit, the tours need someone to run. I get my forest stone in the city. Not sure why I run, they still running with me. Feels like pins in my shins. Go to the gym and come out of gym. Getting you
as far as podcasts go, it's only natural I explain my plateau and also what defines my name. Yo, what up, it's I.N.K. And I had to borrow a little bit of that Nas is like to bring in this podcast. Salutations, earthlings, and all other beings. This is I.N.K. Thinks. And first of all, the reason I started off with that Nas is like line is basically because today we're going to talk about me. We're going to talk about I.N.K., what it stands for, how I came up with it, etc., etc. And first of all, for those of you who have never met me before, and this is your first time listening to me, basically, if you haven't met me before, I don't have a bunch of tattoos. That is not why my name is I.N.K. You'll get it, but that's not why my name is I.N.K. I.N.K. is actually an acronym that I came up with a while back. The acronym stands for I Know Nothing, and I know what you might be thinking if you really, really smart. You're like, oh yeah, the no doesn't start with the N, it starts with a K. But I start mine with the N because I'm misspelling it to add more levels and layers to the actual meaning of my name. Before I was into broadcasting, I did poetry, rap. I still do both, but a little bit less now that I'm doing my podcast. So one of the most important things when you rap, because I started out, rapping a while back, probably like when I was around the age of 12, I started rapping and writing raps. One of the first things that you got to have is you got to have a rap name. So with me, over the years, I had a lot of not so good rap names. I had a lot of failure rap names. I'm only going to talk about probably one of them because it's the better of what were really bad rap names. I think one of the ones that I had for a little while was Chaos, and I spelled it with a K because, it was like, I think I spelled it like Kayos, but whatever. I was kind of an angry youth, so that name kind of fit me, and it transferred into some other stuff. But once I got deeper into poetry and I wasn't just writing poems to get girls' phone numbers and to get girlfriends or whatever, I think that's when later in life I decided to go with I.N.K. So yeah, that's what I did. And in order to follow I.N.K., and maybe I changed my name again, but probably not, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Patreon, SoundCloud. I'm hoping I'm not forgetting anything. At I.N.K.216. You can also listen to my music on Bandcamp. It is on Bandcamp. I believe it's /I.N.K.216 family. So you can become my pen pal. And also, if you need advertisement or you got royalty-free instrumental or song that you want people to hear, hit me on any social media sites, or you can email me at fudailg, FUDAILG @gmail. And back into the conversation. But yeah, so I don't have tattoos, so, it's weird for people because a lot of times people will engage with you when they find out your name based off their perceptions. I'm guilty of this. But with me, I.N.K. is really about, I broke it down earlier, I Know Nothing. I came up with I Know Nothing as the acronym, and I rarely break it down for people, but I Know Nothing basically is I never wanted to ever feel like I knew everything. I never wanted to be the smartest guy in a room. If I end up being the smartest guy in a room, to me, that's the end all be all, then I gotta die. I gotta go right then and there, because learning to me is really fun, especially when you're learning things that you really are passionate about. Broadcasting, I'm really passionate about it. So when I'm done with this and I get done editing it, even after I put it out to you, I'm probably going to critique myself, even if nobody else critiques me, and I'm going to pick it apart and nitpick and say, oh, I said too many times, and I didn't control my breathing on this part, and I got to do better at that. I got to get better at step writing, pre-gaming for my podcast. And you know what? That's okay with me. I'm okay with that, and I hope you're okay with that. And I just felt like it was about that time. I think we're 8 podcasts in right now, so I felt like it was about that time for me to break it down to you exactly why ink and what ink is. So what are we on? 8 podcasts. I got a special treat coming up for you next. I actually haven't decided what the next podcast is going to be about, but I did go even a step further with my 10 podcast. So I'm definitely going to have a special guest on my 10th podcast. Thank you for being a blessing by listening. I'm Ink for what I've done with words and what words have done for me.
To build strong children than to repair broken men. Think about that. Yeah. Ink. Poem.